Thanks for joining us. I'm Marlon Boulding with you, and I am joined now by Todd Bubba Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com, and he works there in the Chicago area. Todd, always a treat to get to talk with you about these markets. Let's dive into the futures trade. I can't wait to hear what your thought is on this. On the corn market, we've had quite a bit of pressure this morning. We're showing December down 3 3/4 at 385.5. Hasn't changed much from the last time we checked there. We have the March down 3.5 cents. At 395. Meanwhile, on the soybeans, right now you have the soybeans on November up 1/4 cent at 924.5, but that one's in delivery. The active January contract, it's up just a half cent right now, trading at 937.25. On the wheat trade, well, let's see if it's got any excitement there. Well, the only excitement is to the downside. We have December down 5.5 at 510.5. And now on the Kansas City market, you have December trading roughly 3.5 lower at 422.5, and you have that Minneapolis wheat showing sizable losses today, down 6 at 525 per bushel. Todd, we had the grain export inspections numbers that came out a short time ago, and they look like they really left something to be desired on the corn. We had only 275,575 tons, which was way under what we had a week ago. And just for a point of reference, a year ago at this time, we had over 1.25 million tons that had been shipped out this week. That's a far stretch from where we are right now. We got some making up to do here.
Yeah, I think so, Marlon. Again, I think that the markets are really just overly quiet. I mean, there's just not a lot going on under any circumstances. Nothing really seems to get them off center. Now, they happen to be, in my opinion, all on pretty critical support levels. Within a penny or two from where they are right now is about as much as I would see them going lower. And of course, soybeans today were much higher, well, not much higher. They were a nickel higher, and now they're basically flat. So we're really just seeing a very blasé, no real interest in the markets. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the overall pushing up in the equity market, that equities are making new highs every day. I believe some of that money will start to flow into the grains, and I think there'll be more in the export. But again, remember, there's a lot of things going on globally, and there's a lot of competition right now. And of course, we've just got so much supply that it's hard to get it all out.
Yeah, the Dow is still up over 100 points right now. Is that sucking some of the investor money out of the commodities for the time being?
Yeah, I think certainly out of the grains and the livestock.
Okay.
One of the things we do know is that the first place that typically investors go as an alternative investment would be grains and livestock. And I think that's why you see, when you see equities go up every single day, and of course they can become very complacent. They become very like they're never going to go down again, which we all know that will change at some point. But for now, the money is flowing in there, and of course, they're not busy either. So right now, you've got almost a total standstill on the market. It's like Wile E. Coyote sitting on the powder keg of dynamite waiting for the markets to pop one way or the other, and I think that's what we're looking at.
How are the funds positioned on the grain side?
I think they're short right now. Again, I think they tried to turn long, and now they didn't get the reaction they were looking for, and I think they're trying to play the trade deal. So I think they're positioned more to the short side, but I think, again, they've been trying to push down, and we've seen this for now, 6 or 7 days now, where they're trying to hammer them, and they just can't break the support. And I think we're going to see the same result we saw last time they were this short. We're going to see that bounce back up, and I think you'll see corn back over $4 in no time.
All right, we were talking about the Dow being up over 100 points. Sometimes that can have an impact on the energy trade as well. Let's look at the crude oil market. And for the West Texas Intermediate crude, we are currently 89 cents higher now in December futures. That puts the price at $57.09. And if we look at our heating oil trade, we'll go with the, let's go here with the January contract. That one is up a couple of pennies at 194.5 per gallon right now. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll examine our livestock trade with Todd Bubba Horwitz after this. Well, let's shift our attention now to the livestock trade, and we had a bit of a turnaround here in the livestock market on the live cattle. Let's see how they're holding up right now. Now, last time we checked, they had gone a little bit lower, but now, look at that. They're back to unchanged again. We had December, now at 119.53. So they tried to push them down, and it's just like one of those bobbers in the water. They're just coming right back up to the surface, and now they're up a nickel. And February, up a nickel at 124.28. Is that it for the selling today? We'll find out here in a second. Let's take a look here at the feeder cattle market, and currently you have the November contract down 38 at 148.75. January down 63 at 145. 38, but they have come off of their earlier low this morning by about 60 cents now. How about lean hogs? Right now in lean hogs, you have December down 33 at 64.13, but that's off of its earlier low by 70 or 80 cents now. And now February is down $1 at 71.58. It's still in the lower end of the trading range today. So let's go back to Todd Bubba Horwitz and talk about this here. We have some new cutout values. I have them right here in my fingers, and here are the new beef cutouts today. Maybe this is partly why we came off the lows here, Todd. We have choice cuts up $1.14 again today. This is a mid-morning update, and now selects up $2.32 at 209.83. I was just checking. Compared to a week ago, select cuts are now roughly $9 higher, and the choice cuts are about $6.50 higher than what we had a week ago at this time. Do you think there's more room to the upside here?
Marlon, I think there's a lot of room to the upside. I think, as we've said all along, that you know, they're going higher. Now, again, I would not be surprised at all. In fact, would prefer a small pullback. I'd like to see, you know, the live cattle come back down to about 117. I'd like to see the feeders drop a couple of bucks just because I want to buy more. Again, that would be a natural part of the pattern that we're seeing. You know, you had a great close on Friday. They ran right up to resistance, and I think a pullback is very healthy, especially if you want to see higher prices. I know it never makes anybody feel good who actually owns the livestock, but the bottom line is, from a chart standpoint and from a technical standpoint, a small pullback would be very healthy and would lead to the next set of new highs, which I think we're going to make without much of an issue. But if it pulls back first, I think the new highs will last longer and will continue to go, versus if we spike up there right away, I think that might be the end of the move. So I think I'm looking for much higher prices. Hogs are still kind of twiddling beneath real resistance. If they can break out, then they'd be in an uptrend. But right now, I think hogs are probably still either going to stay here or head a little bit lower.
But this may help support them. If you look at the pork cutouts from this morning on the midday update, we looked at the beef being higher. On the pork side, well, check this out. Carcass value's up $1.93 today at 77.57. Loin's up $1.91. Hams are a little weaker, down $1.14, but then you get to the bellies. Well, how about that? They're up at $8.09 this morning at 115.04. So adding a little bit of support to the pork complex there and the lean hogs. Thanks, Todd, for the time. Always great to visit with you. Appreciate it. Todd Bubba Horwitz. He is with BubbaTrading.com. Redwood, Illinois, just outside Chicago.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You bet.
Appreciate it.